Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Liv and today we're doing a book haul. I do genuinely hope that this is my only book haul this year. The only time I have enough books that I've purchased to actually do a book haul, unless I can make it from now until December and then have a little pile of stuff to show you. But I am focusing on decreasing my spending this year, and most of these, I believe there's 40, exactly 40. Most of these are from December, which has my birthday and also has the winter holidays. So a lot of these were gifts and bought with gift cards, or I bought them off Pango, or for my birthday I went to the biggest used bookstore in New England. So there's a lot here, but not a lot of my money was spent on them, so at least there's that. Hopefully, this is the last book haul of the year. It's the final book haul. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Navy is on the couch what is wrong with you? We're not gonna go full synopses for everything. Maybe some of them we'll find out a little together. So pretty much all of these were purchased last year, and then I have 3 that I have now purchased in 2024. So 2024 in 2025. I don't have a system. I don't have an order in which I want to show you things. So we're just gonna hop right in. Okay. First book, The Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas, which I had previously already owned and loved, and unfortunately due to my storage snafu where a lot of my books got wet, you've seen the footage, you know what I'm talking about, this was one that I had to throw away because it was moldy, and my sweet, sweet angel Shay sent this to me, I think for the holidays, yeah, which was really, really nice because, it sucks to have to throw out one of your favorite books ever, but mold. And also, not 20 minutes after I opened this, Aiden Thomas announced the sequel on Instagram, so that was fun. Okay, let's just hop in. I've got some book of the months, so let's grab those, I guess. I'm just choosing my method to the madness as I so please. Okay, so for book of the months, I have The Wedding People by Allison Espach. Not gonna lie, when I first saw this book, I was absolutely not interested. It's about a wedding and the cover looks so fun. I have since learned that this is a grief story, and we're following a woman who her marriage has just ended and she has gone to this nice resort, either where her wedding was or where she just chose it to end her time on this earth. And there is a wedding going on there that weekend, and everyone just assumes she's part of the wedding, and she kind of bonds with the bride. The Beautiful Ugly by Alice Sweeney. I don't know what this is about. I just know that Jan loved it, and I have never read an Alice Sweeney, so I figured, hey, why not? I think this is a man is maybe on the phone with his wife or something. There's a car accident, she disappears completely, and a year later he thinks he starts seeing her, and that's really all I know. And that's all I want to know about this thriller. Next I have The Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie Leong, which just seems like a fun, cozy little fantasy. A wandering fortune teller finds an unexpected family in this warm and wonderful debut fantasy. I love fantasy books, but I've been really struggling to get back into them. It's been a while since I've read any, and so I figured maybe a cozier one would be a good place to start, so I picked this up. And then I have The Bog Wife by Kay Cronister. Honestly, the cover, obsessed. I got this because I was gonna read it with my friends for a book club, and I didn't end up reading it. And who knows when I will now. In this atmospheric Appalachian Gothic, the Hadley siblings of West Virginia unearth long-buried secrets when the supernatural bargain entwining their fate with their ancestral land is suddenly ruptured. I think this has a bit of historical to it, which is maybe why I'm I will pick it up eventually. I had an interest and now it's on my shelf. Also, just tell me why it's been over a month since Christmas and I am still congested. I'm over it. Let me see. Was there anything I've read? Oh, okay, I have 2 Aardvark books. My birthday present to myself was getting an Aardvark subscription because every year, I feel like I'm less and less inclined to pick up some of the book of the month stuff. Last year I was really good about only ordering books that I was really interested in until I got to, The Bog Wife and beautiful ugly. This I just want to try an Alice Feeney, and I heard rave things. This, I was like, I'm gonna read it for this book club, and I didn't, and now I just have her. But Aardvark, I feel like, is much more up my alley, like horror-wise, and what I like to read. So the first book that I got was Private Rights by Julia Armfield. I had never been more thankful that I had kept putting off ordering this specific cover from the UK, and Aardvark just, they knew what was up. They were like, everybody wants this cover. Instead, we're following siblings. This is a King Lear retelling, I think, but it's like raining all the time, and I think the rain is affecting people's memories. That's really all I know. I was obsessed with Our Wives Under the Sea, so I know I'm gonna love this. I think I read the first page the other night and was like, hell yeah, brother. This will all be swiftly forgotten. Like, I'm just like, I'm in already. The sound of something opened up, a lock wrenched back, and transom rattled. A house, unlatched, is less than a house and more a set of rooms through which one might be hunted. Like, girl, I'm in. And then I have The Reformatory by Tanana Reeve-Dew. Some of you may be saying, Olivia, that was a January pick, and you said you bought most of these in last year. And I did, okay? They took my money prior to 2025, so I did, in fact, purchase those last year. I think this book is going to destroy me. The way that every time my upstairs neighbor comes home or leaves, I just lay on the floor while I'm doing this, because these are all of the windows in the front of our house. But any host, The Reformatory, I was saying, this is gonna destroy me. I read the dedication, which is to Tanana Reeve-Dew's great uncle, I believe, who was actually in a reformatory like this, and just like, I nearly cried reading that and knowing how much generational and like ancestral trauma is gonna be in this book. I think is gonna be rough, but is going to be important because we are following a young black boy in the 1950s who gets put into a reformatory, do I believe, in no shocking way, to a white person's lie. That being said, look at Aardvark's naked hardback, because it was their book of the year. Are you kidding? I'm obsessed. I really want to read this, but I'm really scared, and I think I might cry a lot. But hey, you know, I think going forward, after this month, I am doing a 24-hour readathon. I think I want to try to do at least like one 12-hour readathon just with myself every month, and maybe one day I'll just pick up this honker and see if I can read it all. What do I want to do next? Let's just go for some of the books I picked up at the used bookstore. First of all being, I think someone must have just donated all of these in one go, because it was the first 4 in this series, and that's the Wayward Children series. So first I have Every Heart a Doorway. These are all by Sean McGuire, in case you didn't know. I remember when this first came out and was like, I want to read that, and I never picked it up, and then suddenly there was just like 11 books, and I was like, that feels really daunting. But they were all there, and they were all like $4, so how was I gonna say no? But so I have Every Heart a Doorway, Down Among the Sticks and Bones, In an Absent Dream. I don't know which one of these is 2 and which one is 3. I have to do some research. I know that this is 4, which is Beneath the Sugar Sky, which I'm really interested to get to this one because I think it's like a Candyland style thing, and I feel like it's gonna give me Crown of Candy vibes, which without maybe all of the, you know, death and Game of Thronesy aspects, but world-wise, I think that's gonna be really interesting to read. Okay, and then some other things that I picked up at the used bookstore. And then when I went to the used bookstore, my roommate brought a bunch of books to donate, which is what my plan was when I found out all of my books were damaged. But she was like, I'm using my credits on you, it's your birthday. And I was like, you're insane. But she did. She also bought stuff, so like, but it was very kind, so at least if you see this, thank you. First I have The Handyman Method by Nick Cutter and Andrew F. Sullivan, which from what I remember is like this man, they moved to a home that's like a fixer-upper maybe, and this guy's like, I'm gonna look at some YouTube videos to help me with this, and I think like the YouTube videos make him haunted or like just add some weird aspect. I don't know if he gets possessed or what, but I feel like you either love this or you hate this, and it was $5, so I was like, I'm gonna figure out which one I am. Next I have If I Had Your Face by Frances Cha, which I just know that this is about like Asian and Korean beauty standards, and that I remember seeing a vlog where Gabby from Gabby Reads read it, and I was interested enough to put it on my radar, and for $7.98, why wouldn't I? The Heart Principle by Helen Huang. This book, I can't remember what it's about. Oh, I think her boyfriend wants to like test dating other people or something, and she's like, I don't want to do that, like, but whatever. And they end up doing it, and she meets another man, and she's like, wow, my boyfriend kind of sucks. I could be completely wrong. I remember seeing Jessie the Reader read this, and I was like, I would read that. I'm intrigued. That's how I pick literally all of my books. Next I picked up You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty, which I am actually trying to get to this month. We're reading it in Jan's Discord for the layer, and I voted on this one because I own it. I just don't know if I'm gonna have time to get to it. I am trying to dive further into A Quick AMSE's backlog this year. So I picked this up. This, I believe, the classic love story in this witty and seductive novel about a young woman seeking joy and healing from loss. Here's the thing. My impression of this book is always that it's supposed to kind of like look like a great love story, but is in fact not. Whether it's like an abusive situation or he's a lot older than her and it's a manipulative situation, which is a form of an abusive situation. I'm not 100% sure. I just know that it's about a woman dealing with grief because the love of her life died and she's finding her way out of that. And then this is the last thing, I believe, that I picked up at the used bookstore, which is Ghost Eaters by Clay McLeod Chapman. I read, what was that one called? Oh, Whisper Down the Lane a couple years ago for the Literally Dead book club, and I did enjoy it. I don't think it was a full 5-star, but I have heard that this is like one of his best works. And again, less than $10. I just realized that there's like writing behind, and since my camera's trying to tell me that it's gonna overheat soon, the screen is dim, so I don't know if you can say that. This says find me. This looks like it says Aaron is here. Are you here? That's really interesting. I don't know what this book is about other than probably ghosts. Pop a pill, see the dead. Side effects may occur. Girl, that's all I need to know. Next, I guess we'll talk about one of the books I have purchased this year, which is Wake Up and Open Your Eyes by Clay McLeod Chapman. I always want to flip the two. I want to say Chapman McLeod for some reason. This seems very relevant to our times and is about a young man who, he's a little, not like fully estranged from his parents, but his parents are very far right-wing people in America, and he hasn't heard from them in a while, and then they send him a message about the Great Reawakening, and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then when they stop answering him, this is gonna shut off in 6 seconds. No! Did I wait long enough for the camera to fully cool down? Probably not, but the sun keeps moving and we've got to get this done. But so basically our main character is like, okay, my family has stopped answering any of their calls. I have to go check on them. I have to make the drive from New York City to, I think like West Virginia or something. He gets there, food is spoiled. The house is a mess. His parents are just like in a trance staring at the TV, which I'm assuming is maybe static, or at least it is to our main character. And it goes from there. I've seen the 3 names of the 3 parts in this book. I don't want to say that in case anyone would feel like that was a spoiler. When I first told my roommate about this, she was like, it sounds like a Jordan Peele movie. And quite frankly, Clay McLeod Chapman is one of my favorite horror storytellers working today. Jordan Peele. Also Stephen Graham Jones. The Purge ain't got nothing on this. So I'm assuming that maybe whatever is going on with the TVs is going to be leading people to attack other people. And Victor Lavelle said, a damn roller coaster of a novel. The kind that leaves you shaking, shrieking, and smiling. Chapman takes all that is troubling our nation in the current day and somehow makes it all the more frightening. I really can't wait to get to this one. I think it's going to be very poignant, but I think it's gonna be a real fun time. I'm just gonna start pulling stuff at this point. We're just gonna go. So I have here 3 Miles Past by Stephen Graham Jones, which is, I believe, 3 short stories. Yeah, 3 short stories. Are they interconnected? I don't know. They just re-released a bunch of old Stephen Graham Jones titles, and this was the first one that I picked up. House of Bone and Rain by Gabino Iglesias. I read The Devil Takes You Home last year. Loved it. I was obsessed with the ending. And this is following, I think, boys who one of their mothers dies. And these kids are all like, we're gonna kill the people who killed my mom. And it says, stand by me with a haunted obsidian dark heart. A group of young men seek vengeance after one of their mothers is murdered in a Puerto Rican slum. Like, babe, you had me at Stand By Me. I love that movie. And I'm really intrigued to see what Gabino Iglesias is going to do with this story and what he's going to do with the ending. Also, just like the two-tone of his books and the colors they choose, impeccable. Love it. Next, I have House of Frank by Kay Sinclair, which is just like giving kind of this cozy fantasy vibe while also still really dealing with grief. And it's about a witch, I believe. A warm and hopeful story of a lonely witch consumed by grief who discovers a whimsical cast of characters in a magical arboretum. It just sounds fun. It sounds like I am gonna have an amazing time with it, and just the cover, babes. The cover. Next, I have a book that I wish I read ages ago, but I was so determined to find it like at a small independent bookstore and give them my money for it that it took quite a bit. That is Minor Detail. And this short little guy is told between 2 timelines, I believe. And it's like part of the story is in like 1949, I think, and maybe like the year, is that right after? 1 year after the war. And it's about something that happens to a woman during that war, and it's present day, and a woman has kind of like found something about this woman, but this woman's story has been erased, and she is trying to figure out what happened to her and bring it to light. I could be a little wrong, but again, it's so short, I don't want to read the synopsis, I'm sorry. Next, I have a couple books that I got off Pango, because there's some books where one, I'm like, I know I'm gonna love you, I need the hardcover, and then one, I had a bad time originally trying to buy it, and I was like, I'm not giving anybody else more money for this, so when I found it for $5, cool. First, I have Notes on an Execution by Danya Kakafka. This is following a man who is on death row, and I think the book starts like he's got 12 hours left before he is, you know, put to death, and he was a serial killer, I believe, and I think you're following 3 women, like you're learning his story through 3 women, I think his mom, maybe a sister or a girlfriend, and the final victim. And I want to say, so I assume that means she gets away, but it could just be past, like in the past, it could be her timeline, so I'm not sure, but this is always one where I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna love this, and I just have been putting it off. Again, feel like I'm gonna love this, and I have been putting it off, but that's because I never got my pre-order, and I was really salty about it. Yellow Face by R.F. Kuang. I can't wait to get to this now. I have gotten over the fact that I bought like a special signed edition and never got it, and never got my money back. This was the one that was on Pango for $5, and I was like, I can purchase this now. This is on my 25 in 2025. So is this, actually. This is following a woman who, she is in school with, or maybe in grad school, meets her kind of like almost rival, but pretends to always like her, but this woman who does so much better than her in the literary world, and this woman is Asian, and she dies, and our white main character is like there when she dies and finds her manuscript and publishes it for herself. I can't remember what line it was. I did that thing where, you know, Allie from Allie Dewey's Read, she's like, I'm gonna open up to a random page and point, and like I just want to see the writing, and I found that's all it takes for my tears to start flowing. But that's a good thing. An awful cynical voice in my mind says, crying makes the grief look genuine, and it deflects the fact that I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. And that was kind of like my first, I was like, I am gonna have to sit through an entire book of this white woman victimizing herself for doing something wrong. That's gonna be crazy. Okay, what else do I got here? Let me see. We're just grabbing. Okay, next I have Brat by Gabriel Smith. I don't know. It's a weird fiction, and that's all I can tell you. This is about a man, and I think his dad dies, and he's maybe dealing with that. All I know is it's weird, fun fiction. Maybe not fun, but That was why I picked it up. So Thirsty by Rachel Harrison is her newest release, and this one is all about vampires, and these two girls, they have a night out, and they meet some vampires, and I think they end up becoming vampires. How many times can she say vampires? I read Such Sharp Teeth this year, and I remember having an absolute mental breakdown at 1 o'clock in the morning because it had just like one line that was something I absolutely needed to hear. So I'm interested to see how I'll feel about other Rachel Harrison books without like that intense emotional connection. This one, though, I hear is very up or down for some people. It does have Chuck Tingle, CJ Lead, Kirsten White blurbing it on the back, Haley Piper. One fun bloody ride. A woman must learn to take life by the throat after a night out leads to irrevocable changes in this juicy, thrilling novel. So, we'll see. And then this one, I had no reason for purchasing other than it was my birthday and I just had to throw out a bunch of like special editions that were moldy. And that's Done and Dusted, and it's a signed special edition. Like, this is my least favorite book in this trilogy, and I was like, okay, like, sure, it's my birthday, I can do what I want to. But I love these covers, and I was like, you just threw away so much, get yourself something nice. These are cowboy romance books, and the second one is my favorite, just saying. I don't know anything about this book, except that Tiffany loves it, and That's Where I End by Sophie White. Couldn't tell you. Let me see. At night, my mother creaks. The house creaks along with her. Sometimes in the morning, we find her in places. We never see her move. We just come upon her. I don't know what that means. Aileen is cursed. She has no friends, has never gone to school, and has never left this wind-swept craggly isle off the coast of Ireland. Her mother is cursed. A silent wreck Aluian calls the bed thing. Alongside her grandmother, Aluian's days are endless monotony of feeding, changing, and caring for the bed thing. It sounds like a mommy issues book, so I think I'm gonna have a good time. Next, I have Don't Let the Forest In by C.G. Drews, which I was mostly convinced to pick up because Lexi from Alexandra Roslin, she read it like 3 times in like 2 weeks. She was that obsessed with it. It's a YA book. It's queer. It's about these 2 boys. One is obsessed with like twisted fairy tales, and one of them, when they come back from school break, he's acting a little weird, and his strange abusive parents have strangely disappeared. Thomas has no idea that Andrew would do anything for him. Protect him, lie for him, kill for him. Stunning, darling. Look at, like, the briar in his mouth, in both of their mouths. It's giving Never After. How many D20 references can I make this video? We Used to Live Here by Marcus Cluyer. I haven't read it yet, but I'm about to start it shortly. Is following a queer couple. They've just bought this house and moved into it with the intent of flipping it. And one of the women is home one day, and her girlfriend, is still not home from work. And this family shows up, and the dad is like, I used to live here, and I just want to show my kids this house. And our main character does not want to let them in, but is a bit of a pushover, so she does in fact let them in, and then I think just strange, crazy stuff starts happening. I know one of the kids, like, from this family disappears in the house, and that they're not leaving. And I know that in between every chapter, there's, like, hints. There's something, whether it's articles or something, and they have Morse code at the bottom. Everyone talks about 12 seconds. I'm gonna kill myself. Get Out meets Parasite in this eerily haunting debut, and Reddit hit. I cannot wait to get to this. And we're shutting off again. Okay, there's 10 books left. Let's see if we can get through them before she shuts off again. Okay. Ooh, I forgot one that I got at the used bookstore, and then we can follow it up with another book that I bought this year because it was the sequel, which is Dial A for Aunties by Jessie Q. Sutanto, and then I just bought For Aunties and a Wedding because I really enjoyed this. And this is the next one, and the next time I'm feeling slumpy, I'm gonna pick her up. Or maybe for my 24-hour readathon. But this is following Meddy as she accidentally kills her blind date, and her mom and her aunties are trying to help her cover it up and just get through this. They do accidentally end up shipping the body to the location of the wedding that they were working that weekend, and they are just kind of like Weekend at Bernie's moving around this corpse the whole time, and I ate it up. I don't know what the cozy mystery aspect of this one is going to be. I'm assuming someone is going to die, but that's all I'm going to learn. I don't want to read too much into it. When I was kind of doing like my last final shopping for the year, I'm like, what's just some like fantasy stuff that you want on your shelves, even though for some reason you can't seem to pick up like an actual non-cozy fantasy, because we're gonna get there this year, pals. And one is The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien. I have The Hobbit too, and I was like, I know I'm gonna eat up The Hobbit and I'm gonna want the next one, so I'm just gonna pick this up. This is like father fantasy, like J.R.R. Tolkien is the father. This is father fantasy. That makes sense. I do want to get into all of these, and it's been a hot minute since I've seen the movies, so I think I'll have fun getting surprised because I don't remember everything. And then I got Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I have always been intrigued by these ever since they blew up on BookTube like 10 years ago. The only Brandon Sanderson... Oh my god. Wow, I dropped it, but that flop, first of all. But the only Brandon Sanderson I've read was The Rhythmatist, which is a YA, which I think I read when I was a teen, and I did enjoy it. All I know about this is, like, I think the magical powers have to do with metal. That's all I know. And I just bought this because if I like it, I am 100% getting the UK covers. But I want to dip my toe in. I want to try. I want to go for gold, and I want to get there. Okay, what else do I have? My roommate also, for my birthday, bought me Lost and Lassoed by Lila Sage. I did just read this in January. It was really fun. I showed you the other Rebel Blue book, so I should have showed you this then. But this one follows Teddy and Gus, and I did really enjoy it, mostly because Riley, Gus's daughter, is the star of the show in every book. And then I have some more Stephen Graham Jones, because I want to just dive into his backlog so much this year. So I have Mongrels, which I know is werewolves, and that's really all I know, except I listened to the sample audio at one day when I was just like rough editing, and I was like, I'm just gonna listen to a bunch of samples, and I can't wait to get to it. The only other book that I purchased this year, along with the second Dial A for Aunties and Wake Up and Open Your Eyes, is Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer by Frederick Bachman. There's something about my brain chemistry where if I see people reading a book absolutely sobbing, I'm like, I need to read that. I actually probably have enough books that could be a vlog concept, but I'm not sure you all want to watch me cry for 20 to 45 minutes, so this book I have always really wanted to read, but I have never wanted to pay $20 for something this small, and it was on sale, so I finally picked it up. This deals with dementia. I think we're following a grandfather and his grandson, and they just sit on a bench every day. And I think, like, maybe the physical bench is actually, like, getting smaller, but it's really just depicting this man's dementia. Okay, I have Pinata by Leopold Golt, which is a possession story, I think, with old ancestral artifacts that are dug up and found and follow and haunt this family across a country, I think. I don't know. I just know that everybody loves it and it's really good. And then I have The Bell Chime by Mana Kabani, which is about a woman who comes home one day to her apartment and there's a bunch of missing posters posted, but they're all of her. I have a funny, goofy vlog concept for this that I'm hoping to do at the end of this month or the beginning of March. The last book I have is Parable of the Talents by Octavia E. Butler. This one just felt important to grab. If you're like me and you've read Parable of the Sower, then maybe with, all of the LA fires and the way that 1993 Octavia E. Butler predicted how the 2024 election was gonna go. Lauren Alamina, our main character in these books, she has been on my mind quite a bit. I've been thinking about her a lot. So I just had to pick this up. I don't think I could. That was a large sigh, sir. I just have to get to this year. I have to continue reading some more Octavia E. Butler because she's doing the damn thing, okay? Featuring a new foreword from New York Times best-selling novelist Akwaeke Emezi. Ooh, I just realized, girl. Okay, insane. I think N.K. Jemisin maybe did the foreword in the last copy. In the first book when I read that. That is all 40 of my books. I put them all back on this cart. But yeah, these are all of the books I have purchased. This is hopefully my last big purchase, my last big grouping of books. I bought like 141 books last year. It's not good. It's not good. And I also just want to get through some of the stuff that I have had on my shelves for a long time. Because I think I have some stuff that I was so totally interested in 5 years ago, and now I'm not sure. And I love the idea of having a large TBR, but I do want to make sure it is still filled with stuff I so confidently know that I want to read. So my project this year is to whittle it down to build it back up, you know? But thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you soon with another video. Bye!